Hello, friends and neighbors. Roland Frost here. Raleigh to my friends and clients. We're going to talk about what's coming up in the sky mirror for the next 10 days for you. Now, generally speaking, you already had a prior full moon, and that guy was at 2 Aries, which means it squared Saturn, and that's no fun. That Saturn, he's the cross of matter over the crescent of people. He's the banker, the CEO, the manager. He cares about money and stuff before people. He puts all the physical things above the needs of the flesh. So he's usually not seen as a very good guy. And you had a new moon, or a full moon, squaring him, so he's very irritating. I just discovered I tried to call a corporation like Spectrum to get some help. I wanted to pay my bill a day late. In order to talk to a real person, they charge you $5. Now this is brand new. I've never seen anything like this. And we saw it again with one of the internet companies. Is it Yahoo? Trying to fix up a mistake they made. And you can talk to a computer, but if you want to talk to a live person, there's a $5 charge. What the heck? Oh boy. So this is not an easy month. And it's going to be like that until the next full moon. You're going to be upset with Saturn. Some manager, some CEO, some supervisor, some guy sitting at a desk, in a coat and a tie, made a decision for money, and it screwed you, the fleshly person. And that's what happens. Now that sets a scene for a whole month, okay? And that's what you got to know. That started on September 25th. So you got another whole month of that to go. Now there was a prior new moon before that, 2 weeks before that. That new moon happened on September 9th. And that new moon is at 17 Virgo. And it sets the style and the flavor for a month. And it happens that it opposed Neptune. Yeah, for the last 2 weeks you've seen nothing but floods and water and confusion. And you've forgotten things, haven't you? Yes. I think I'm getting Alzheimer's or something because I'm forgetting the doggonest things. And spilling things. Well, I can't touch anything liquid without it spilling. Well, that's the new moon squaring Neptune. And you got another couple of weeks to go for that one. It won't stop until October 9th. So you've got two influences. One influence is the problem with the old man the banker, the Grinch. He's going to get your money. He doesn't care about you. That has to do with a lot of politicians, too. And it goes for a month. And that was actually overlaid with this other month here, which opposed Neptune, the new moon. And you got all these troubles with doctor, priest, artists, musicians, drugs, liquids of all kinds, water and flooding. So it's not an easy month. No, not an easy month, especially when they're overlapping, which is basically the first 2 months, first week in October. And you're in it, aren't you? So I'm not going to pull any punches with you. I'm just going to tell you where it's at. Well, let's take a look at it day by day. I think that's most helpful. Most people watch this show to see what happens on the sky mirror. And, I do this 10 days purposefully because you can remember it. And, like right away, here's Monday, October 1st, and there's a full moon and there's Saturn. And you're not going to like the bankers and the politicians and everything, gets scrunched, and there's more stop signals and more lines and more rules and more laws, and you're not going to like it. You're going to feel compressed, enclosed, and claustrophobia. Yeah, especially the middle of the day and the last half of Monday. You can pick this stuff out. Here's a flooding thing. Here's Neptune, the new moon that squared it. So you know you're going to have trouble with liquids there. Let's look at it day by day. Okay, if you're in a Thursday show, the moon's in Taurus. We're back here. The moon's squaring, it's opposing Venus. Keep your daughters home. Nobody likes the pretty girls. No, sex and love and all that stuff doesn't feel good. For some reason, Thursday afternoon and evening. Moon in Taurus, too. That's a lusty sign. Friday morning, here's the moon trining Pluto. We all feel kind of powerful. Powerful, but we're overdoing it. Here's a Jupiter opposition. Yeah. On Saturday, September 29th, it's a pretty good day. Here's a trine to Mars. Get physical. Get out and exercise Saturday morning. Fix something. Be a hero. You'll be proud. There's a trine to the sun. Mars is trining the sun. Good time for physical activity. You'll see sports will really gain a big leg up here. And here's Mercury, too. The kids, they're happy. There's a trine to Mercury. That's late. That's 10, 11 o'clock at night. Just before we all spill the water and everybody gets too drunk and the river goes up and there's too much rain. And that all starts Saturday night and goes through Sunday on that nasty, nasty lunation. That new moon at 17 Virgo. Now, that new moon actually hit good angles to Pluto and to Jupiter, so there's wisdom coming out. But, what you really feel is usually the square and flooding. Confusion, delusion, Saturday night, Sunday morning. It'll go pretty much through Sunday. You get to Monday to the middle of the day, the vibes all change because the moon shifts into Cancer. But it shifts over to that other lunation, that nasty full moon squaring Saturn. First, it's an interesting day because if you look, here's Uranus. Here's a sextile to Uranus. It starts you feeling free. I'm free, independent, between breakfast and lunch. Feels pretty good, huh? And then stuff closes in. Here's a full moon. And doggone it, it's squaring Saturn. And as the rest of the day goes on, you're stuck with time. Not enough time, not enough money, too much to do, too many lines, too many signs. You're closed in, you're claustrophobic, you're hating it. This is a sad day. I have a poem about Saturn. A feeling of sadness and longing that's not akin to pain and resembles sorrow only as the mist resembles the rain. Now that's light Saturn. When you get hard Saturn like this with a full moon squaring it, what you get is people die by crushing and freezing, and there can be a lot of death around. And so this is not a happy day, Monday. Had to tell you the truth, that's my job. Monday night, well, you get to about 2 o'clock in the morning. Here's a trine to Venus. And there's a little relaxation, a little good love around. But the sun, the moon's squaring the sun, and your ambition's gone, and your energy is gone. Midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Tuesday morning, well, the moon in Cancer makes a nice trine to Neptune. Here's some church music. Here's some inspiration Tuesday morning. But don't be thrown off guard, because look at what's next. Yep. Eek, a bug. Panic, panic. It's Pluto. Pluto is acting up. Yes. And as I recall, he stopped on the 1st. He just went stationary. So there's going to be a lot of panicky stuff here. Guns, bugs, sharks. Eek, a bug. Little things will panic you. You'll see Tuesday afternoon and evening. Even the kids, they're square to Mercury, they'll get caught up in it. And they'll be panicky too. I think even my cat got panicky the other day on this. Panicky Tuesday. Wednesday in the morning, the moon's still in Cancer. You're feeling a little weird and panicky. Still. But stuff doesn't really hit until the moon shifts into Leo. And that's where the square to Uranus is. Now you got glitches in electronics. You feel all alone. Yep. There's an opposition to Mars. Here's sudden temper tantrums, sudden fights, sudden hots. The electricity failed and it burnt out. This is sudden weird stuff. People take care of each other. Here's the North Node just after lunch. That's nice. As you go through the day, Wednesday though, it's increasingly difficult till you get to the square to Venus. That's about midnight. And you get so tired. Oh, I can't go on. I'm so tired. And then there's a sextile to the sun. 2-3 in the morning, Thursday, you get some ambition back. The moon's in Leo. Go for it. Get something done on Thursday, the 4th. So if you got ambition on the 14th, go for it. You might tend to overdo it. Here Friday morning, the moon's still in Leo, and it squares Jupiter, and we tend to overdo everything. Right through till the middle of Friday. In the middle of Friday, the moon shifts into Virgo. All the vibes change again. And doggone, here's a trine to Saturn. Maybe we can get along with the rules and regulations. Maybe it's okay that the corporations charge us $5 to talk to a real person on the phone, and the banks charge us $28 overdraft fee because your check got returned for lack of $2. I can remember when banks used to just return your check. They'd call you up and say, oh, you didn't have enough money for this check. You could take money down to the bank, put a little more money in there, they send the check back. There was no fee. They weren't making money off of your mistake. Now the bank feeds off the poor people. Saturn is making money off overdraft fees. If you were to look at their books, they're not loaning money out. They're not making money like banks are supposed to by helping people. No, they're ripping off the poorest segment of society for overdraft fees. Hard to take much liking to Saturn. You'll see Friday night. Saturday, still not happy with Saturn. The moon's in Virgo. And you're coming up to the flood zone again. There it is, Saturday in the middle of the day in the afternoon. There's that new moon. And you're squaring Neptune. And Saturday is going to be a wet day. And there's going to be flooding. Yes. I'm not going to go into where exactly. It's just too much work for me right now. There is a nice trine to Pluto. We get recovery here. Here's some emergency people come out Saturday night, and they do good things. Figure it out. So these are probably the firemen. The firemen are the best of your emergency people. If you have trouble of any kind, somebody's lying down there and they're hurt. You call 911. So say, you want the ambulance, the police, or the firemen? Always ask for the firemen. They'll get there first. They all know CPR. They're great. They can do stuff that all the others can do and more. No policeman's going to give you CPR. No. He's afraid of your blood. He's afraid you're carrying AIDS or hepatitis, or he's afraid they'll take a picture of him and charge him with assault. It's nothing like that with a fireman. Don't worry. Call the fire department, 911, for everything. Sunday, the moon's still in Virgo. I learned that lesson the hard way after 20 years working in safety. Anyway, the moon's in Virgo Sunday. You settle down a little bit after you got some control Saturday night. But it's closing in again. Here's that nasty Saturn square. Happens late Sunday night. Soon as the moon shifts into Libra, squares Saturn in Capricorn, hits that full moon. Eek, depression, not enough. Trouble, trouble everywhere. Well, it's not a really happy sky mirror this month. Wish I could tell you more. Here's Venus. You know, she's slowing down to stop at 10 Scorpio. And she ought to be happy. She's trining Neptune. Somebody gave her a beer. But she's squaring Mars. And Mars is angry. And Romeo won't let her alone. He's being abusive. So even Venus is having a tough time.